The Chupacabra, or Chupacabras, which translates to goat sucker, is a legendary creature in the folklore of part of the Americas. With its first purported sightings reported in Puerto Rico, the name comes from the animal's reported habit of attacking and drinking the blood of livestock, especially goats. Physical descriptions of the creature change. It is purportedly a heavy creature, the size of a small bear, with a row of spines reaching from the neck to the base of a tail. Eyewitness sightings have been claimed as early as 1995 in Puerto Rico and have since been reported as far north as Maine and as far south as Chile, and even being spotted outside the Americas in countries like Russia and the Philippines. But many of the reports have been disregarded as uncorroborated or lacking evidence. Sightings in North Mexico and the southern United States have been verified as canids afflicted by mange. According to biologists and wildlife management officials, the chupacabra is an urban legend. Chupacabras can be literally translated as goat sucker, from chupar, which means to suck, and cabra, goat. It is known as both chupacabras and chupacabra throughout the Americas, with the former being the original word and the latter a regularization of it. The name in Spanish can be preceded by a singular masculine article, or the plural masculine article. The first reported attacks occurred in March 1995 in Puerto Rico. In this attack, 8 sheep were discovered dead, each with 3 puncture wounds in the chest area and completely drained of blood. A few months later, in August, an eyewitness, Madeline Tolentino, reported seeing the creature in the Puerto Rican town of Canovanes, when as many as 150 farm animals and pets were reportedly killed in 1975. Similar killings in the town of Moca were attributed to El Vampiro de Moca, or the Vampire of Moca. Initially, it was suspected that the killings were committed by a satanic cult. Later, more killings were reported around the island, and many farms reported loss of animal life. Each of the animals was reported to have its body bled dry throughout a series of small circular incisions. Puerto Rican comedian and entrepreneur Silvero Perez is credited with coining the term chupacabras soon after the first incidents were reported in the press. Shortly after the first reported incidents in Puerto Rico, other animal deaths were reported in other countries, such as Dominican Republic, Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Colombia, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, Brazil, United States, and Mexico. A 5-year investigation by Benjamin Radford, documented in his 2011 book, Tracking the Chupacabra, concluded that the description given by the original eyewitness in Puerto Rico, Madeline Tolentino, was based on the creature's seal in the science fiction horror film Species. The alien creature's seal is nearly identical to Tolentino's Chupacabra eyewitness account, and she had seen the movie before her report. It was a creature that looked like the chupacabra with spines on its back and all. The resemblance to the chupacabra was really impressive, Tolentino reported. Radford revealed that Tolentino believed that the creatures and events she saw in Species were happening in reality in Puerto Rico at the time, and therefore concludes that the most important chupacabra description cannot be trusted. This Radford believes seriously undermines the credibility of the chupacabra as a real animal. In addition, the reports of blood sucking by the chupacabra were never confirmed by a necropsy. The only way to conclude that the animal was drained of blood, an analysis by a veterinarian of 300 reported victims of the chupacabra found that they had not been bled dry. Radford divided the chupacabra reports into two categories: the reports from Puerto Rico and Latin America, where animals were attacked and it is supposed their blood was extracted, and the reports in the United States of mammals, mostly dogs and coyotes with mange, that people call chupacabra due to their unusual appearance. Late October 2010, University of Michigan biologist Barry O'Connor concluded that every chupacabra report in the United States were simply coyotes infected with a parasite known as Sarcoptes scabiei, whose symptoms would explain most of the features of the chupacabra. They would be left with very little fur, thickened skin, and a bad odor. O'Connor theorized that the attacks on goats occurred because these animals are greatly weakened. They're going to have a hard time hunting, so they may be forced into attacking livestock because it's easier than running down a rabbit or a deer.